did some concrete work.
Just scooting one over so I can see that better. Not that I didn't notice.
She's on front board. She had things to do, so she didn't shoot on Saturdays.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, I call this special meeting of the electors of the school district of Cudahy to order. Director Scoglin, has notice of this meeting been properly published and posted?
Yes, notice was published in the South Now on April 15th, 2026, and April 22nd, 2026, and posted in 3 public places on April 15th, 2026, according to the Wisconsin statutes.
The first order of business is to elect a chairperson for this meeting.
I nominate Carrie Durr.
All in favor of Carrie Durr to chair this meeting, say aye. Aye. Contrary, say no. Okay, motion carries. The purpose of this special meeting is to authorize the school district to lease property located at 3244 East College Avenue, Cudahy, Wisconsin, 53110 for school district purposes pursuant to Wisconsin statute 120.105. I call upon Superintendent Garvin to outline the proposal.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to outline the terms of the lease agreement. The terms of the lease agreement are for this summer, June 15th through August 22nd. The rent amount is $12,350 per month. And what is included in that lease agreement would be maintenance responsibilities for us to help out with lawn maintenance. I'd like to ask and turn the floor over to Tina Kreitlow, and she's going to help the board understand and the community the key details of the property at 3244 East College Avenue.
Great, thank you. So one of the reasons, we had explored a number of options to host our summer campsite given construction going on at the middle school this year. Not only the construction, but that being used as a heavy transition building and staging in the outdoor spaces for all the classroom movements that will be occurring. This particular facility rose to the top of the preference list because it is a self-contained program space that is most comparable to the current camp environment that we provide here at the middle school. And in some cases, I'll be honest, it's a slightly better facility in some areas. Highlighting that they do have 2 pools, so we are able to be more efficient with our swim time, still allowing for swim lessons during summer camp. Many families utilize the swim lessons in camp so they don't have to bring kids another day of the week. Locker rooms, 4 locker rooms, in addition to 2 fully private, accessible locker rooms for kids who maybe have challenges changing in large groups or any other special circumstances that we may experience. 13 acres of green space that's all fenced in. 3 shaded pavilions on concrete, which is nice. So it's raining, we can still use it because it's not going to get muddy and wet. This also saves us on renting tents. We rent tents each year for additional shade at the middle school, and each tent rental is about $2,000 for the summer. A play structure that families have been asking for, especially for those younger campers. So the facility does offer that play structure. It's a full-size gymnasium that we would have access to all day. Whereas our current situation, we do not have access to the gym during summer school weeks. 70 to 80% of our summer camp is outdoors, so for any camp family who participates, you know that we are an outdoor camp. However, having full access to an indoor facility is imperative for us, because as we've noticed the last several years, while we always measure things based on, oh, we need indoor space for rain, but the last couple of years, we've had a number of excessive heat warnings, and we've had a number of air quality warnings, just for the air quality. So we do take the kids indoors for that, and this space does allow ample space for the 225 to 250 campers that we are going to be experiencing each week. We love that it's all fenced in and that it does have a secure outdoor storage for all of our equipment. If you don't mind, I'd like to ask Allie, who is our camp director, to just say a few words from a programmatic standpoint, why this is our preferred location.
Hello, my name is Allie. I am the summer camp director here in Cudahy. This is my 7th summer. So a couple things that Tina had already mentioned, the pavilions that are placed on the concrete. There are 3 of them outdoors in the field that we would have, where each age group would have their own designated area. In addition to that, they also have the playground there that our younger campers would be able to utilize, that parents in our camp surveys have been asking for a few years now, and we unfortunately can't do that at the middle school. However, we would have access to a playground at the former Y building. Our sports specialty camps would have their own space outdoors that is on site. Our numbers have been significantly increasing for specialty camps, more specifically our sport ones as well. With the field and the track located at the former Y building that is fenced in, that would allow for a bigger group of campers in those sports specialties to utilize that space, instead of having to go off-site for a field, a volleyball court, anything like that. In addition to that, our specialty camps that are not sport-related would have access to more indoor spaces for groups that need it. There will be a designated area of the parking lot that is dedicated to a more convenient daily drop-off and pickup location, and this also includes all of the busing that we have for our field trips every week. Typically, we average about 5 to 6 buses for our field trips alone on Thursdays, and at the former Y building, it would just be a much smoother process for those buses to pick up all of our campers. We have already spoken to Chartwells, and they will be able to continue providing breakfast and lunch for all weeks of summer camp. And this space also allows for us to take more kids off of our wait list for each week in the summer, and also allows us to expand the capacity for week 10. Thank you.
I will now open the floor for questions and discussion from the electors of the district.
I just want to say thank you, Matt, for all the information. I didn't see it until just when I got in here. I feel with the information provided, it really answered all of our questions that we all seem to have. The only thing being radon testing, but I understand that that's going to happen. That said, I'm actually pretty happy with where we're sitting right now.
Should be happy. Yeah. Now you go up there.
My name and all that stuff?
Oh, we don't need a sign up there, you're good, yeah.
Keep my name and all that stuff, or is it just, I can come up and ask questions, or?
No, you can just ask questions, right?
Alright, so, am I wrong in saying that Fund 80 is the school district for facility usage for summer camp?
Maybe somebody should have read that.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Was summer camp already budgeted into the 2026 school district budget? So by moving this out of the school district, are we creating a budget deficit with the school district budget?
So that's a complicated question. There are many things that are attached to that question. For example, there were several things that were considered months ago regarding the location of summer camp. One of those items was not hosting summer camp at all, but we believe first and foremost, we're here to serve the community, so we wanted to look for alternative spaces for summer camp. There are going to be construction costs that are, what would you say, collateral costs associated with transporting or moving offices, summer camp locations. For example, we have had to set up temporary locations in all three of our elementary buildings for their office space. There's costs associated with that. The costs on the flip side of not moving a summer camp or not hosting a summer camp far outweighed the cost that we would be incurring by moving it to an alternative location.
So the cost that we would be losing from not having a summer camp would be a cost lost out of Fund 80, not by the school district.
There are certain, do you want to handle that?
Correct. I would say that if we did not host summer camp this summer, Fund 80 would lose a significant amount of money that helps offset other programs throughout the year.
What's the current surplus in Fund 80? 5 million is what we heard when you were trying to purchase that
5?
building?
No.
Okay, what is it? I mean,
like,
these budgets are so secretive with you, Tina. You never have answers. You should have this answered here today. You should have all the information today. What is the surplus on Fund 80?
Jim, can you answer that?
I think it's probably around $116,000.
So Fund 80, there is a surplus in Fund 80 right now. What we're working towards, back on January 20th, and I don't wanna go into, like I said, this is a complicated answer. Before Brian Dasher left as a business manager, he had set up a meeting with Tina and her department to put together specific categories so that we could report out to the community 3 levels of programming. The programs that make money for the district, the programs that break even for the district, and the programs that we believe are important for the community that we're supplementing. We were in the process of doing that work. We unfortunately had to put that work on pause until we have hired a new business manager. You stay later for the board meeting. We are very excited to announce that we have hired a business, well, the board will be approving a business manager hopefully tonight. And so we will continue that work and we'll have much more detailed analysis of that as we continue our audit of the Fund 80 and the accounting practices.
Does the school district budget currently run a surplus or a deficit?
It runs a surplus in Fund 80.
The surplus in Fund 80, and the school district budget itself is running a deficit.
You will see the numbers for that in the budget presentation today.
So if the school district budget is running a deficit, it's the taxpayers who have to fill that deficit. If Fund 80 is running a deficit, it's user fees that pay. So why are we going to create budget issues in something that we already budgeted for, to move the summer camp to pay a private entity, which essentially could create a budget deficit that all taxpayers have to pick up, not just the people who choose to go to summer camp?
To serve our students in our community, because that's one of the things that we have been told through surveys, through parents, that is very important to this community.
As a taxpayer this year alone, I just gave $1,000 extra to the students of this community. When do the taxpayers get it?
Thank you for your feedback.
Right. And I wasn't born yesterday, and I fully understand that this is Crample's pipe dream to have this facility inside Cudahy. It's not gonna stop with one. We just heard her say that this is a much better facility than what we currently have. You'd be foolish to think that it's gonna stop at one.
Thank you.
When I was a young child, my parents taught me the difference between right and wrong. This is clearly wrong, knowing the notice that was given, residents can vote. The meeting posted to South Milwaukee now doesn't exist anymore on the website for the public. The meeting was only posted the day of on the school calendar, where evening school board meetings were posted. was never posted in the school's Facebook page. The only place this meeting was posted was a Google Drive folder with no public access that is available. That is wrong. Just because you did the bare minimum to not be held criminally liable within the state laws does not mean this is wrong. Be an example to the students in the community you are serving. Have some pride in your community. Shame on all of you.
First of all, I'll just say that it was posted in 3 different places on both April 15th and April 22nd. We're not gonna argue it, I'm just stating a fact.
Right, but as a
because those are
resident, so
facts.
you send it to the newspaper and nothing happens. It's not on the Milwaukee Journal website. That is wrong.
I'm sorry that you don't feel like you can find the meeting, but they're published where we're supposed to be publishing them.
Just because you did the bare minimum legally required
Okay.
does not make it not right.
I understand your opinion, and
It's
I
not
thank
an
you for
opinion,
it,
it's a
but
fact.
I will say, moving forward, you'll hear later on in our next meeting on how we are establishing another committee for communication and how we get things out better to our residents. So if you stick around, you will hear some of the communication on that as well.
I mean, having to find it at the post office, the library, on a bulletin board is acceptable.
Hi, do I just state my name or?
No, not for this
Okay.
meeting, this is just
All right.
questions.
I don't generally talk with these. I just had a question and I'm not sure, I'm kind of confused, and if we're not privy to that info, that's okay. Because I do believe that the camp is a valuable asset to our community, and we get a lot of kids from outside our community that come also. The question that keeps coming back to me is, when we look at what the expense is to host this camp on our facilities, and now we're going outside, what is the difference gonna be? Because this, I don't believe, can be a wash. And I am a little concerned that we are going to the Y. I believe they have the facilities. I'm just concerned, they've done a lot of work now, but is this gonna increase the cost per camper? And then what about the liability? Because I would think liability insurance would be higher when you're outside of your own facility, of the property that you own. And with the health issues that have been brought forward with that presentation by, I think, the C.G. Smith or somebody, that's concerning to me, as somebody who's been in the health field and kids that have had respiratory issues. We don't want them exposed to those types of things. So I guess I'm interested in what cost-wise, whenever you're looking at something, how much more, because I can't believe it's gonna be less than it would be before, how much more will we have to contribute as a community, meaning the school district also, because it's part of their budget, than we would have to in the past? Because families can only afford so much, and I know that our camp is a significant amount of money to attend, but they get a quality program, so.
Tina and Matt, would you like to address this?
I can speak to the program costs in that this was not going to impact camper fees at all.
I understand that, but we as a community that are invested in our community, what goes around comes around. So if we overspend someplace, that money has to come from somewhere. And so I'm just curious, is there enough money currently available, not coming in later after they all pay their fees, that's gonna be able to support this program? Or, I think the prior gentleman, he kind of alluded to, he's wondering where also that money is.
Absolutely.
And I don't understand all the legalities of that other title, whatever that money comes from, I
Sure.
apologize.
No, it's all good. Yes, summer camp is a self-sustaining financially program, and we do make money each year in summer camp. And we have a fund balance in fund, so we're Fund 80, is fund, recreation is Fund 80. The general operating fund for the school district is Fund 10. This would not take any money away from Fund 10. Fund 80 would be able to fully support it.
Liability also?
We host programs at other locations.
Okay.
It's all covered under our general insurance, and the facility already has insurance as well. So we would just be named as an additional insurer.
Thank you.
She has some questions, I think. Right.
I believe she was referring to when she was talking about the respiratory issues. that there was, talk of mold being in the building. Some of that came from the roof that was bad, where it leaked through and stained some of the ceiling tiles. Stained ceiling tile does not mean it's mold. There has been no mold found in the building. The roof has been repaired. We've done some walkthroughs. I see no evidence of mold. If there was, we would obviously do some testing if there was an issue that came up or some questions, but as of right now, I have no evidence of mold in the building.
Could you just maybe expand on that, on some of the things that have been fixed? I think people, it would be, like, because we see a report, but nobody
Sure.
else maybe sees that.
Or even if,
Is that online?
could we even just post, like, that email response to the community? Like the email that we got that has radon testing, water quality, mold testing, all that stuff. All that information just, and the company is canistered so that, you know, the community can see that. Just on our school website. That would be allowed, right? I would assume, yeah.
Yeah, no, we could do that.
I mean, we could also talk about it tonight, but I'm just saying, do both.
They did pass and receive the certificate of occupancy from the city. So a lot of the issues that were brought up after they came through and they did the inspection, they were required to complete these issues before they could, or remedy these issues before they would be given that certificate of occupancy. They did receive that certificate of occupancy because they did address all the issues.
Hi, my name is Maria Altadonna. My son has been going to summer camp for the last 3 years, and he looks forward to it, and it's very crucial to our family to be able to go to summer camp. Like that February, the date that opens up, I'm signing him up right away because those lists fill up, and he enjoys it so much. And these counselors and Allie, they do their best, and they really teach these kids and really bring a lot of joy to them. And summer camp is needed for especially working families where there's no other option to do with them during the day. And they learn lessons, and, you know, I know he can just be watching TV if he was home, so it's good that he gets out there and, you know, socializes and improves each year that he attends summer camp, and it's vital. And I like the idea that he can swim too, so I like the idea of the pool and stuff, because that's a great skill, and they do it. I mean, it is expensive, but it's not, you know, compared to other summer camps, it's still a deal. It's a deal in what they offer, and I tell people about their summer camp, they're like, wow, that's amazing, so.
Hi, thanks for hosting this tonight. Very big decision on some people, but I don't think it should be that big, because if you look at boys and girls clubs, after school programs, it keeps kids off the streets, keeps them active, keeps them social, keeps them off screens. And the programming that Allie has created for these kids is something beyond what I knew what was possible. Unfortunately, my wife teaches in Wauwatosa, so my daughter goes with her. My daughter doesn't have friends in Cudahy except for our street friends, right? Ones that are on our road. Without camp, we wouldn't have been able to branch out like we have and meet so many other families in the community. And the big part about this for me is the swim. Every day she comes out, I went underwater, I went all the way to the bottom. She was just learning to do the diving and the jumping and the deep end. And without camp, I don't know if she would have done it, because we could go to Sheridan Park Pool and freeze our butts off. That pool never gets warm until August, right? So without a pool, this camp would be totally different. And I'm not sure if I want to spend the money on a camp that doesn't have swim. And if you look at the number that was just mentioned earlier, around 225 to 250 students, you're looking at 28 to 30 some grand a week. And if people start pulling their kids because there's no swim, you know, maybe it's not a sustainable program anymore. So the cost, it's a sustainable program. It should be no question then that we should keep it the way it has been, with swim, with the field trips, with all the programming, the special groups. My daughter's doing the flag football wing, right? Because Coach Allie taught her, or was the coach for flag football. My daughter joined it. She never would have joined Cudahy flag football when she goes to school in Wauwatosa, right? Without Coach Allie, without these camp counselors back there, it's a program that will fall apart. So what you have right now is something special, and I understand the fear from people that are taxpayers, but if you listen to what they're saying, It's a self-sustaining program. This isn't going to be hurting your wallets.
You're lying.
Why?
That's not a fact.
Then come up and talk and
I
ask the
will,
question.
I'll be next,
Okay,
okay?
well, you got quite a line here, so
Yeah,
get in line. So I'm not lying because I'm listening and actually taking the facts. And again, I appreciate all of you here tonight, so thank you. I hope you decide to keep the current plan with the YMCA. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shannon. My camp families probably know me as Daisy. It's a little weird to say my first name. I have worked at the Cudahy Rec Summer Camp for the past 8 summers. I was camp counselor, I was a head counselor of the 7-8 age group. I am now the assistant to our amazing camp director, Allie. I've come back year after year because of how much I love this camp, and I strongly believe the YMCA is the best option for our camp this summer for our campers. We are an outdoor camp. Like Tina said, about 80% of our day is spent outside. The rest is inside in the pool. With over 225 campers, we do need that large grassy space for safe, active play. The YMCA provides that along with access to a pool for daily swim and indoor space when needed. The pool is such a huge part of our camp experience and something our campers look forward to, something that sets us apart from lots of other camps. Causey Elementary, on the other hand, is primarily blacktop. Asking 225 plus kids to spend most of their day on blacktop, especially in our crazy summer heat, is not safe and it's not fair to our campers. Summer school is also being held at Causey, which limits our space even more. It would also not be the safest option to have campers walking back and forth to the park constantly throughout the day. Those that may not be as familiar with our camp program, we have campers getting dropped off and picked up at various times throughout the day. We also have very frequent bathroom usage, which is more than you would think. As an educator and a camp counselor, I have learned that the bathrooms are very needed close by. At this point, we need to focus on the positives and the reality in front of us. As much as I've loved my past 8 summers at the middle school, that is just not our reality this summer. The YMCA allows us to run the kind of camp our kids deserve. Causey does not. I ask you to consider this experience and the safety of our campers and choose the option that best supports our campers. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Danielle. I just wanted to say, Tina and Allie, I know you would never put our kids in danger. I'm sorry, I don't know who you are, but you were saying like the building is looking better than it did, you know? As a mother, if I felt that my daughter and my son were going to get sick, I would pull Allie aside and say, hey, no. I do not think that's the case. I love the idea that hopefully it will be at the old YMCA. The great ideas, I'm sorry, that you were just talking about, the pool, the extra field. I want my kids active. How active can they be? How active can they be at Causey when the summer school is going? You know, I know the middle school is doing all their repairs and stuff. If we just open our mind a little, and again, I know you guys, I know some of the taxpayers are not, you know, happy with that, but it's like the kids, if they are not involved and if they are out in the community, they're going to be causing trouble. This is safe. I trust you guys. I just really hope it goes through. I'm sorry. Have a good day, guys.
Hi, my name is Caitlin. I'm coming up on my 6th summer as a summer camp counselor. During the school year, I'm a kindergarten teacher, so I get the pleasure all year of working with 5 and 6-year-old kids. I love it, but when I heard that there was camp at the Y, I got really excited because knowing how much work it takes to transport 5 and 6-year-olds and how much safer it would be at the Y from firsthand experience now for 2 years as a teacher, 5 years as a counselor, was just so awesome to hear. Because even if you consider younger kids with an allergy or anything taking medication, Allie is the one that prescribes that. We have our policies in place. If we're 20 minutes away at a park and somebody needs an EpiPen, there's a lot more safety issues that come into play. And just knowing all that it takes to transport these kids places, knowing that there's a secure playground, a secure field. Even at my own school, we separate our recesses, 4K to 2nd grade, knowing there's colorful kids at other recesses, room for sports camps to spread out, room for even kids just to have their own spaces, and our counselors to be more creative. If we are limited to a blacktop, less games, less, and even as someone that sees the effect on with kids with technology every day, having camp outside and the kids are away from their technology, just seeing how they grow all summer has just been amazing to see. And even with the pool, I start with the little ones. We have our red area where kids can't really swim. Thanks to the swim lessons, the pool is filled up by the end of the summer, and kids are excited to use everything throughout the pool. So I just appreciate you guys listening to me, and I really hope that we can have camp at the Y so that we have the safest option, best option for everyone involved, and kids can just have a great summer, because at the end of the day, it's about the kids in our community. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lindsay. I am a resident of the city. My question is, the referendum passed in November of 2024. Here we are 2 to 3 months before the summer camp begins. Why was there not proper planning towards the location before putting this out? Anyone around here knows if you're planning any remodels in your house, you need to plan. If your kitchen's gonna be down, you need to plan for meals. This is something that has been known for over a year. And just now, 2 months, it's going, what are we doing? Where are we gonna move this at? We need to start thinking more in the future, not just what's happening today.
I'm happy to address that. Over the last 6 to 9 months, we did have several plans that were in place, but they fell apart. First, we studied the South Shore collaboration with St. Francis and South Milwaukee. I believe we started that study, was that 8 to 9 months ago? And should that have come to fruition, we would have been hosting our summer camp potentially at the YMCA. We also began exploring collaborations just strictly with St. Francis or with other neighboring districts. One of the things we ran into when Tina started speaking with them, almost all neighboring districts have summer camps of their own, so we weren't able to secure locations in other school districts. So I can assure you, we have been planning for quite a long time.
But the planning for the construction was known when it was gonna be happening. That is something that you can either stagger or figure out, not necessarily confining. 6 to 9 months, I'm sure this camp was planned and set out well enough before that. I'm sure people have things that didn't just say middle school, knowing that the middle school was gonna be under construction at that time. It's planning. That's what
I'm
needs to
happy
be
to
done.
help you, I'm sorry, will you finish? I'm happy to help you understand that also. When you take out a 2-year referendum and a 2-year bond, the construction needs to be completed within a very short period of time. We have until, I believe it's May 13th of 2027 to complete construction. Unfortunately, one of the best things about us and one of the challenging things about us is we have kids in our schools. And so construction, and Matt can speak a little more to this, can only happen in very certain periods, usually during a break or during the summer break. So Matt has a very short window after a referendum is passed to use that money within 2 years and then to plan construction during a summer period. And I don't know if there's anything else you would like to add to that?
No, that pretty much covers it. I mean, we have a short window. I wish we had more time, but it's kind of just the way it worked out.
And I hear what you're saying. It's hard for people that have to make this shift at the last moment because we want to be cognizant of taxpayer dollars and support families. And several people said, we need to know our kids are going someplace safe for summer. And so I hear what you're saying, but we have a lot of timelines and a lot of variables we're working against.
But you sold the kids and the program at the middle school, and now we're moving it to the Y. So technically, you didn't really sell them what you were selling them.
Hello, my name is Deja. I am a resident here. My kids went to summer camp for the first time last summer, and they loved it. And I signed up for summer camp this year under the impression that it would be at the middle school. So when I learned that it potentially wouldn't be, and that it might be at at Cosby where they wouldn't be able to swim, I immediately was like, I'm gonna have to pull my kids, because that's one of the biggest things that they look forward to. My now 7-year-old was terrified of water last year, wouldn't go under the water. Now he's way more confident in the water, jumping off the diving board. He is really looking forward to being able to swim at summer camp this year. So I'm really hoping that we're able to have it at the Y. Also, the grassy area, it's way bigger than what they had at the middle school. I just think that the Y gives summer camp vibes. It gives the summer camp that we are expecting for our children to have, what they have had in past years. You know, the outdoorsiness. I personally would not feel comfortable having my child outside all day on a blacktop. I, as an adult, don't want to be outside that long in the heat like that. Safety issues like increases chance of heat strokes and like different kind of things like that. So I, again, was like, I'm gonna have to pull my kids to summer camp. But then it's like, what am I gonna do for childcare? Because I do work. So yes, summer camp is a choice, but it's also not a choice. When you are a working parent, you gotta pay to send your kids somewhere. So I would rather they go somewhere like summer camp where they are outside, interacting with other kids, building those relationships, building those bonds, instead of having to send them somewhere where they're just gonna be in front of a television all day. So that's important. I also am not comfortable having my kids have to walk to a park every single day. That is also open to the public. There's traffic concerns. They're open to the public. I don't know everybody that's going to be at the park, but I know each and every one of those camp counselors. I know the kids that they're going to be interacting with each and every day, so I'm way more comfortable with that. I just love the structure of the summer camp as a whole, and I feel like having it at the Y will allow us to be able to keep the structure the way that it has been. And I don't think, I've talked to other parents, I know I'm not the only person that would pull their kid. So then do I pull my child and give money to another area like Oak Creek that also has a summer camp that has a similar structure to ours? Like, is that what we wanna do? Because we need to keep our money here. So, like I said, my kids need to go somewhere, but I also have to think about, you know, their safety, and being outside on a blacktop all day is not safe for them. I heard an option of like getting tents. How are those tents gonna be? What about the structure? I mean, we've had some tornadoes touch down recently, so are those tents gonna go away? Like, are they gonna be secure? Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Scott Polkowski. I'm first and foremost for physical activity for kids. They really need to do that. And that would be a different time for the high schools and the grade schools. But my question is, if we lease this building, how long is it for? Is it for by weeks, by months, by year?
June 15th through August 21st.
Okay, so it's by weeks. And does Cudahy School District have exclusive rights to this building for that entire day, or just for during summer camp?
Tina,
So we are leasing it for summer camp this year, that is all.
So after summer camp hours, that building is no longer part of our lease?
Correct.
Okay. And as far as the capacity, I don't know what it is of how many kids we turn away. Is this gonna allow more kids the opportunity to go to this camp?
Yes, we can take all the kids off the wait list.
Okay. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm a parent of a 6-year-old who will be attending camp hopefully for the first time this year. I do not live in the city of Cudahy. I live in a neighboring community, but my parent friends have told me nothing but amazing things about this camp. And then I attended the first parent session a few weeks ago with Allie and was blown away and felt so safe and secure about sending my 6-year-old to this camp. She shared the information about the, uncertainty about the location, and after hearing about the YMCA, it is the only place that I would feel safe having my child. And we will pull him out if we're not able to be there. For him only being 6, walking to a park away from the site, being on blacktop, not having the space to run around, just isn't an option I'm willing to consider. And I want to invest my money in Cudahy because you are all doing such an amazing job with this camp. I'm willing to pay the extra money for the swim lessons. I really want my money to go to a camp that's providing high quality, safe care for my child. And I will absolutely consider pulling them out and investing that money in a different community if it's not at a location that is safe. And to be perfectly honest, the swimming is a very, very high priority. My little guy loves the water, and when we told him he'd get to swim every day, he's over the moon. And so I'm really, really hopeful that the board decides to stay with the MCA location so that I can send my little guy and be very, very secure in knowing that he's being safely cared for by all of you.
Hi, hello everybody, my name is Heather. I am the parent of 2 campers that have been there almost 6 years. And I'm not gonna necessarily say anything new that several of the other parents haven't already expressed, but I just really wanna drive home how important this camp is to the community. And one, I didn't even know that potentially not having it was even an option, and that was very scary because hundreds of families send their kids here, and we have not many other choices at this point in the game, so that's a little scary. But as far as where to have it, the middle school had great facilities, but since that's not an option, it's clear that the Y is gonna be able to be the next best thing, a better fit for the program, and aligns much more closely to what basically the camp has traditionally been. The families, I think, has clearly expressed they choose this camp because of the green space, the swimming access, and the established program facilities, and the programming that goes with it. The pool, I think, has been hammered in, and I think it's just clear, especially with some of the weather challenges that we've had the last few summers, from having to be inside for very extended times, not just during that. I know the space has been tight, and I think having something to be able to accommodate that, from the heat extremes to the severe air quality issues we've had with the fires, like that was a lot of time to be indoors for those kids and the counselors, I can only imagine. That was a lot. I think the blacktop is stated, which is not the ideal for kids, and walking just is a huge safety concern from multiple areas. And I think just overall, the Y is a more viable and appropriate alternative. And I'll just end that on I picked up my kid quickly before coming here. He was my 10-year-old, and I told him what I was doing. And he said, well, why would we change? And why would this having a camp with no pool and not having a green space where I can play soccer and football with my friends, it just wouldn't be the same. Thank you.
Good evening. Robert Goss, longtime resident of Cudahy, 67 years. I'm voting no against this. Not because having this recreation facility, the summer camp, is not a good thing, it's a great thing, okay? It needs to be held where it needs to be held. If there needs to be this construction moved to allow this to stay where it's going to be permanently, which is at the middle school, if I'm correct, you're only leasing this for 1 year if this goes through, for 3 months. That's it. I don't believe you. You've been dishonest to these people. You haven't shown any financial data to back things that are going on. What I have heard is that Fund 80 monies have been saved, and the bills for Fund 80 have been being paid out of Fund 10. An audit of this board needs to be done. I think there's something terribly wrong here. I don't think the YMCA, which is only for 3 months, okay, it's not the permanent place that we're gonna go, correct? Exactly, right? It's a temporary thing.
Yes.
Only because of the construction. If that construction was moved, say they do it on, I don't know, you knew about it, so why didn't you start working on it during Easter break? Answer?
It can't be done in that short of a period of time.
It is a 3 to 4 month. Do you want to take that, Matt? I'm sorry. It's a question for you.
They're doing some major construction, so they'll be tearing down walls, doors, recreating offices.
Very good, Matt.
Tearing up some pavement, some asphalt areas. I was never given an option, or the way it sits right now, we are nervous. We are hopeful that we can get it done before school starts, but it's going to be close.
Can you describe these major construction things going on at the middle school that's preventing this from occurring? The main pinpoints, right? The pain points here, like why can't we? Because of the doorways?
There's gonna be a lot of work within the building close to the pool. Along with the construction, we are also consolidating buildings. There's gonna be a lot of furniture being moved throughout the summer. The gyms at the middle school and the elementary schools are gonna be used as staging areas for this work. There's more than just the construction that goes into it, but for student safety reasons, I wouldn't want them to be around that construction.
I'm not sure you are aware, the entire portion of the referendum dollars are for creating a new safe and secure entrance, which means the entire portion of the middle school where the pool is located is going to be under construction. If I'm correct, and I don't want to misspeak, this is your area, I'm not the director of facilities, that's beginning with asbestos abatement, that begins first. So this is literally, I think our offices are going to begin to move in 2 weeks. It is a 4 to 5 month process. This is not something that's 2 weeks and we can put off or we can do during the Christmas break or spring break. Matt does have all kinds of projects that he does schedule during those types of breaks. This is much larger than that.
So because you are moving this rec department, which is paid for out of Fund 80 to an outside facility, you cannot use those funds for this activity. Is that correct? That's your answer.
Yeah, but are you?
Go ahead, no, I was just gonna say, repeat the question.
Does everybody need it repeated then?
Yes,
It was
please.
a little confusing.
I didn't understand what you asked, sir.
So, by moving the rec department's activity, the summer camp, to the YMCA, any monies, used for that will be coming out of Fund 10.
No.
No funds out of Fund 10 will be used for the rec department. Is it specified that the Fund 80 monies has to be used within your facilities?
No. Jim?
Go ahead, Jim.
Okay, the Fund 80 has to contain the costs associated with our recreation department activities. So that could be labor, supplies, rent, anything relating to the programming, the summer camps. All those costs go into Fund 80, which is different than Fund 10, and there's a separate tax levy that is in Fund 10 to help support some of that. So my understanding is that the costs, if there were costs incurred for some of the move, that can and will be charged to Fund 80.
So then answer the question. Why is the community not happy that they feel that they're going to end up paying for this? When Fund 80 has funds, not sure how much, and the money you take in with summer camp is between $500,000 and $600,000, is that about right, or a lot less?
I think it's less than that. There is an accumulated fund balance in Fund 80, which is the excess over the years of the revenues over the expenses. Just like, your residual, what you would have as an ongoing entity. And I think that number in the audit report was able to clarify that. I thought it was about 380,000, somewhere around there. And so
I'd like a copy of that report if we could get one from the public.
It's attached.
That audit.
It will be presented at tonight's board meeting, and if you would have time to stay,
I would.
the auditors will be presenting that tonight, along with Bear will be here to do an analysis of the audit report.
Okay.
So I think the concern or the question from some of the taxpayers was, would the overall costs for the rec department, adding this extra $36,000 or $37,000 for the 3 months rent, cause them to go in the hole? I don't know that that would cause them to go in the hole for this year, and certainly it wouldn't cause them to deplete that entire fund balance. So the rec department will be solvent, with or without this move. The costs that the rec department incurs now are to repay Fund 10, if I'm thinking this correctly, for any of the costs incurred for custodial staff, for chemicals, for water, for, you know, all the use of the things that were not able to be separated, from Fund 10 into Fund 80. So there's like a transfer cost for that is charged to Fund 80 to help, recognize that those costs belong in Fund 80.
That's a curious thing. So initially it was said lawn maintenance costs. Now you're talking about janitorial fees and cleaning fees and things from the middle school transferring to the Y?
No, not the live. No, he's not talking about the live.
Go ahead.
I'm talking about when we had activities at the middle school.
Oh, sure.
If we had swimming there, somebody has to mop the floors and test the water and turn the lights off.
And you
on.
won't have those fees at the Y for these 3 months, 90 days.
Correct, those would be avoided.
And so everybody that uses this camp, which my grandkids use it, will be going back to the middle school next year and forevermore. Never back to the Y, right? Because in some, you went like this, like maybe there's a possibility.
The board has not talked about that.
Well,
We're only dealing with this year, sir. We don't know what's gonna happen years from now. I can't say that we're never gonna be in another facility again due to construction, so.
Right, but we were just.
Well, I can't. I mean, that's, nobody can say that.
Well, I'll tell you, the answer is no, you're not gonna do it, okay? You're gonna plan better next time. That's it, period. If you don't know how to do your job, then we'll find somebody who can do your job, okay? This is ridiculous the way this is going on. A last minute vote to have this? I mean, this is a recreational activity. A lot of people think this is, we're moving to the Y, because it's a better facility, okay? We lost that chance. The people spoke against it. The financials proved it was a bad idea. Yet you're going back there, Carrie. Right? Right?
That's Tina.
Oh, Tina. Well, sorry. Sorry, Carrie.
Right.
Thank you, sir. Hi, my name is Dawn Ellis, and I am a resident and taxpayer in the city of Cudahy. My children go to the camp. This is their 5th year. It's an amazing camp. You guys do such a good job. We love going to this camp. The facilities that we can use between Casuarestado and YMCA, I feel YMCA is the best option. There was concern for my family. My husband was not able to attend the meeting today, but his concern also was the safety of the building, just because it has been, from what we have, I guess, observed, unused in however long. But I was informed that it has been used, the building is safe and secure. Right now, the safety of our children is the utmost important thing. I'm not comfortable sending my kids to a school that has blacktop. And we don't want to spend, I can guarantee no adult here in this building is gonna wanna spend their entire day from 7 o'clock in the morning until potentially 6 o'clock at night on blacktop. You will burn. Your legs will burn, your feet will burn. These kids are going to camp in little jelly sandals. Their toes will literally be burned by the end of the day. We don't let pets go on blacktop for that long in 90-degree weather. The idea of sending my child to leave a facility to walk to a park, what parks would be utilized in the camp? I'm sorry, I keep looking at you, but what camps would be, or what parks would be utilized if we were to use Casiasco? What parks would be utilized for our children to walk to?
Pulaski Park is about a block and a half.
It's kitty corner.
Kitty corner.
Southeast, yeah.
Oh, yes, okay, so they do have a little bit of the wading pool for the kids to utilize. But again, the walk to the park. Who is gonna ensure the safety of my children walking to the park? There's traffic. Yes, our camp counselors are amazing, and I'm sure you guys put your life on the line for these children because you love them and they adore you. But I go to that park numerous times throughout the week for baseball practice. I see the park racing around on the streets, drag racing on the streets. And now my kids are supposed to walk across the street to go to the park. Who's cleaning the parks? How many times have you found substances at the parks that these kids could potentially get into walking and roaming through? We don't know who's gonna be at these parks.
At the YMCA, yes, it is an extra cost. I'm a taxpayer myself. Nobody likes to spend extra money, but the safety of our children in this community is the most important thing. At the YMCA, they're going to be in a safe and secure location where they can use every aspect and not need to leave the facility and be perfectly safe there. Yeah, I'm sorry. And the idea of a pool, yes, pools would be, the kids love it. It is going to be one of the highlights of it. But even if you don't get to use the pool, it's the green space and the safety of the surrounding area, that they're not going to be leaving the facility and walking around our town. So I like the YMCA. Thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Jim Buss. I've been a resident of Cudahy for about 30-some years. I'm an old bachelor. My kids, I have no kids. They will never benefit by this camp. But I, as a taxpayer, I think it's a no-brainer to move it over to the Y this summer. As a career educator in the Oak Creek School District, I worked through a lot of construction projects as that school expanded. I am well aware of the juggling that your facilities director has to do this summer to make sure everything gets done at the middle school, coordinating with contractors. It is going to be a nightmare over there without having, 200 or 300 kids running around. I won't personally benefit from this camp location at all, but we are here arguing about $36,000. It is my understanding that from listening to all the people talking, that in the past years, the camp has made money most years. We have a surplus in Fund 80. What do you do with a surplus? You spend it when you need it. Our board isn't asking to spend it for the next 10 years, they're asking to spend it because we can't have kids running around at the middle school. They need as little foot traffic there as possible to let that construction play out. And as a taxpayer, maybe I really do benefit by this move and by keeping a really strong rec program and a really strong camp program, because all of us that live in Cudahy benefit by having schools, great public schools, that people want to send their kids to. And we say we get kids through these camps from not only Cudahy, but all the surrounding communities. Every time we get open enrolled kids coming into our community, or our own kids staying in our community, our schools benefit. I go to common council meetings over across the street. They spend $36,000 on oil changes, and we wouldn't have any input at all. Here, at least we have input. I'm voting yes. Thank you very much.
Hi. So with the hypothetical at Kazi and walking our kids to is a public park, right? So anybody can walk in. It's not fenced in. It's not stopped. So any stranger can walk into the park. How would you guys go against protecting our children from just any stranger during the day? How would you guarantee me as a parent who is entrusting my child's safety to you guys, having to walk back and forth to this park, yes, traffic, but while they're in the park, we know how kids can go and move, and no matter how much you keep your eye on them, they can go. And not to mention a stranger who pulls up in a car or something. How are you going to protect that? Whereas the Y has a fenced-in area, am I correct? It's completely fenced in, so the road have it. How would you guarantee to protect children at a public park? That would be my concern.
I appreciate that question, thank you. So this is why we are not recommending that as our location, right? Our preferred location is the property identified at 3244 East College Avenue. Alternatively, if that does not happen, our only other alternative to provide a summer camp this summer would be at Kosciuszko Elementary School. There is no green space at Kosciuszko. Right, so we can't keep kids in that space for, as many people indicated, in some cases, kids get dropped off at 7 a.m. and don't get picked up until 6 p.m., so 11 hours a day. So there has to be other alternatives for us to give kids that experience of being on grass and playing. And while our staff do a phenomenal job of keeping track of kids, it is not the safest location. And this is why it is not our preferred location.
And this is why we're looking for the Y, and this is a 1 year.
This summer.
So that's what we're considering. Okay, that was my question.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Megan. I'm the student board rep for the district, so I've been to a lot of the meetings. I know what this board talks about, I know your opinions, and I know what a lot of the public has said. And I am a counselor at the camp. The last year was my first summer with the camp, and kids, obviously, we are the ones that experience them firsthand, so we know what their needs are, we know what they want, we know better than a lot of people that don't get to experience working with them. And I personally saw the upset last board meeting with especially the middle school closing that got pushed to 2027. And what I noticed that a lot of the community had to say was that they are worried about the kids. They're worried about what the kids are going to do because they use the pool. They use it, we use the pool for so many different things. Not only just for kids, we also use it for a bunch of different opportunities that the community has, but what I guess I'm not fully understanding is where we were so worried about the kids in that situation of their pool closing, but yet this is the same thing. And it's not the exact same thing, but in the way of if we're at Kazi, we don't have any availability to give these kids swimming, which is exactly what the community wants and asks for with the middle school pool. So also, if we have to use Pulaski Park as our park, in our greenery outside, what do we do when we have way more allergic reactions than a lot of people think we do? We have altercations between children, because when you're outside in the heat, kids, they get annoyed, they get angry, they get irritated, and sometimes they turn on each other. And we, as a counseling staff, are equipped and trained to deal with these situations, and we deal with them very well, as I would supposedly do. And so we don't want to be having to take a walk all the way back to Alley, because everything obviously has to go through our director. If there's various amount of kids that have to take medications throughout the day, we have to always take them to Alley. So if we are leaving counselors to walk these kids all the way back to Kazi, then one, there's less counselors on site to be at Pulaski Park, so then that's decreasing safety even more because we don't have as many eyes at a public area. And also then that just creates time where the counselors have to walk all the way there, walk all the way back, and that's for just one thing. Kids, like Shannon said, have to use the bathroom all the time. It is a constant thing. In the middle school, one counselor's going in, one counselor's going out. There's always bathroom breaks for certain kids. So that is a lot of back and forth, which will then cause, again, the counselors to not be at the park with these kids, which we need to ensure their safety, especially at Pulaski with the open area, like everyone has been talking about. And then it was also brought up to me that we would only be able to use the first floor of Kazi because of summer school being taken up the other 2 floors. That limits our space immensely, because we do have, while we prioritize being outside with the kids, we do have indoor things. Certain specialty camps need to be inside. We have mystery camps, we have curler bead camps, we have a bunch of things that obviously they do get their take of outside, but they have to be inside for certain things. It's not really possible for them to do all of their specific activities outside. So with us only having the use of 1 floor at Kazi, that limits classrooms even more than we were already a little bit limited at the middle school. But at the middle school, we did everything work. And obviously, we can't go at the middle school this year. The drop-off and pickup, I don't even feel comfortable having them at Kazi, the drop-off and pickup, because this past summer when we had the construction of the parking lot being done, we already had to navigate through struggles of that drop-off and pickup, where we had to be in different locations off the street a little bit, and it was difficult. At Kazi, all of our drop-off and pickup would be based off of the street. That's not safe for kids to be getting out of cars, getting into cars and everything. So having the Y drop off and pick up is way safer, than anyone thinks about. And then also, at certain times, we can't use the gym or the cafeteria because of summer school. It already have those places booked up. So because of that, so if it's pouring outside, where do we go with the kids? They still need to be active. They can't just sit there and watch movies. They can't just sit there and be on TV. They need to move around, and in Kazi, we wouldn't have that space to do that because obviously we've noticed the weather changing in Wisconsin. It's happening. We can't just keep them all by themselves.
Hello, my name is Karina Babon, and I have 2 kids that attend summer camp. And I think Allie, you do, and all the counselors, you probably all know my children, unfortunately, but they do an excellent job. And I know a lot of the community, or some of the community, they have a lot of mistrust in the board. And I feel like we can handle that at a regular board meeting, but this is the crossroad that we're at. It's either, and I don't know her name, the young lady that just spoke before me, I think she just explained perfectly why the camp has to be at the YMCA, or the old YMCA, and I'm for that. I want my children to be able to swim and not be on blacktop all day long. Unfortunately, they do have to be dropped off early and then sometimes picked up late. And she just explained all the reasons why this makes the most sense. This is what we have. I know a lot of the community has been saying comments under their breath and they're upset. Bring that anger to the designated meetings and talk about that. Let's fix it. Instead of mumbling in the back, run for something, do something. But this is about where we're gonna put our kids for the 3 months. And it's picking the best one of the 2 options. So I'm for yes for the old YMCA. My children love it, and if it would be at Kazi, I know from having friends with other parents that a lot would pull their kids. We don't want them at Kazi with all the risks and things that they would have to endure during the summer that we're paying thousands of dollars for. So then that money will then go to, Oak Creek, other summer rec programs. We don't want that. So I vote yes. Thank you.
Hi, just one clarifying question. Is it just summer camp going to be there, or is it all of the rec department activities, like all the dance classes and all of that? Is it all moving or just summer camp?
Right now it's summer camp. Yeah, we're looking at Kosciuszko for our other programs.
Okay, thank you.
Where we need classroom space, which is appropriate. Oh, that's a great question. So the question that came up from the board here is, what about regular swim lessons? We will be utilizing the high school pool for those.
Question for Tina, what did you budget for wages for this 12-week period?
Honestly, I'd have to pull up my budget.
You don't know?
Not off the top of my head, but I can pull it up pretty quickly if you need it.
Would you please? How many counselors have you hired for this 12-week program?
Close to 40.
On average, we have about 40.
40 counselors, very good. 250 people? Good.
On average. Not, yeah.
No, 40, okay.
Can I interrupt that? We are bringing the compensation schedule for campers to the May board meeting. I don't know if that helps. I know it doesn't help for tonight, because the camp, I know the prevailing wage of our camp staff is a little bit under what we should be paying, so we will be discussing.
I'm just looking for a number.
Okay.
I just want a number. When you lay a budget out, I just want a number.
Yeah, just know it will be changing at the May board meeting.
Plus 14.
147,000 plus 14,000.
161?
$161,000. Thank you.
John Hohenfeld, 6110 South New York Avenue. As somebody who's put together 9 municipal executive budgets across 19 funds, I can sympathize with you folks and the hard decisions that you have to make. 7 years finally removed from August, the heartburn is finally gone from having to do with the budget. I don't think anybody here is debating the value of the programs that you have for the summer camp. I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is that, obviously it's about the money. You got $37,000 in expenses, and if you truly can cover that, like you're saying you can, why wasn't that information put out front? I think that's what a lot of taxpayers are upset about. And as another gentleman mentioned, they each got their president of anywhere between $600 to $1,000 in the school district tax increase this year. Trust me, that's not setting very well, because if I would have pulled that off at the city, I would have been tarred and feathered. And legally, we couldn't do something like that. So again, look within your means. I guess the other thing that scares people is, will the board truly commit through motion not to purchase the YMCA? And if they decide to do it, take it to a binding referendum of the citizens. I'd love to see that, because then truly you'd know where you stand. If my property at 6110 South New York Avenue was in this bad of shape, well, maybe that's a question for another city entity. How the hell did they keep that building open for the swim school? I hope this building is safe for our kids. I truly do. But again, if my house were like this, there'd be a great big orange condemned site there. I urge caution, because again, I'd love to know how this was let to go along for so long in a building that you guys were looking at, and again, realize it was crazy to buy it because of the problems that were there. I hope all these problems and anything else have been solved. Thank you.
My first question is this the same owner that owns this building that bought it after the Y got out of there?
No.
No? So this is not the same person that opened it up as a private club?
So it's had several iterations since the YMCA. It was vacant for a short period of time from when the YMCA filed bankruptcy to when the YIM purchased it, Youth in Motion. They owned the property for a couple of years, running it as a community center until it was no longer sustainable for that particular owner. Omar then purchased the property, ran it as the South Shore Athletic Club for a number of years, until he decided to lease it to Victory Christian Academy. And that is where we are today.
Because, well, my neighbor couldn't be here, he's wheelchair bound, but he said that when the person that opened it up as a private club, physical club, he said it was terrible. The pool was green every day, that the complaints were endless. It was
Correct.
terrible.
When it was YIM, I echo the same concerns that I have heard from many people in our community about the condition of the building. Since Omar has purchased it, he has done a remarkable job, and certainly since working with us, has put the good faith effort into making sure that facility is exceptional for our families.
Okay, and my other question is, this comes down to a matter of the city of Cudahy. Is there going to be a vote here tonight?
Yes, after public comments.
Okay, my question is, we've heard folks come out and say that they're not from Cudahy, they don't live in Cudahy. Now, if something could happen to go wrong, and the taxpayers have to pick up the tab, they're not liable for anything, correct?
You can only vote if you are a resident of Cudahy, and if you're voting, you have to give your address to Amanda over here, so
Okay,
it can be
so
recorded.
non-residents aren't.
Non-residents cannot
Okay.
vote.
All right, thank you.
When was the cost of this lease released prior to this meeting? This is the first I'm seeing about, as a resident, what the cost is.
if we.
So you're releasing it on the same night it's being voted on?
The meeting of the electors, the purpose of the meeting is to share the cost of the lease with the electors.
We should share it before the meeting. Shame on me.
Thank you.
Share the cost, it's supposed to be no cost to us.
Just a point of clarification, the meeting of the electors is a discussion with the electors to share information and to ask for the electors' information and concerns. So I apologize that you feel that we are not sharing information. That is the point of this discussion.
Well, if people are informed, they can't be informed whether they want to show up or not.
We're not sharing the costs.
Diane Zelinsky, I live here. There is nobody in this room that denies that this is an important factor for these kids. My kids utilized the summer camps over at Lincoln School on concrete with a playground. That was it. We had no alternatives. We all went to our neighborhood schools. This is a great program. We're teaching them how to swim. Excellent. What I have a beef with, and what so many people here have a beef with, is the way you planned this out. This whole thing was, okay, you may not like what I'm gonna say, underhanded. You know, you're saying, oh, we knew about this months ago and we tried to plan. Nobody told us. If you were to come a year ago and said, we're gonna have problems with this situation. We're not gonna be able to have this summer camp at the school because we decided we're gonna need to have an opening in the door to the pool for the outside entrance. People would have said, oh, okay, fine, let's work this out. But no, you hide these things. And you know, somebody brought it up, Thomas brought it up earlier. You did not inform the public until Sunday. That was the earliest that any of us got any indication that this meeting was taking place tonight. You may say, well, I put it in the journal or posted it at the library. Wasn't at the library, wasn't in the journal. Trust me, I looked, so did a lot of other people. And they're very upset with the way you guys are behaving. We just had an election. We got 2 new people on the board, or actually 1 new person on the board. There's gonna be elections coming up again real soon, and I'm sure that a lot of you aren't gonna be in office very long, because people are tired of the deceit and the lies. And I have to applaud some of the board members and some of the counselors for being here tonight, because you guys really had your act together. You all knew what you were gonna say. Every one of you knew exactly. Asphalt, grass, bumblebees, EpiPens. You must have been rehearsing this for a week. I'm sorry. A lot of people, hey, I'm not saying that your jobs aren't valuable, but what I am saying is a lot of you don't even live in the city. And all we are hearing is, oh, we need a raise, we need a 2% raise, we need a 3% raise. We need new police vehicles, we need new fire engines. We need all these new things now, right now we need these. So we're gonna raise your taxes again. And when you are paying property taxes in the city of Cudahy, and your elected officials who you were supposed to be able to trust, put it out in front of you and say, oh, it's okay, this CIP is a 10-year plan. We're gonna hit you with all the taxes right now, and next year we're gonna hit you again, and again, and again. You get a little bit tired of the deception and the runaround from all these people that you put in charge. Because some of you may not vote right now, some of you may be voting, some of you may live in Cudahy. And I guarantee you, when you guys own houses in the city of Cudahy, and you have families that live here, and you get that tax bill and it goes from $4,300 to $6,200, yeah, I know, you shrug your shoulders. That's the way it is. You trust me, you're not gonna be feeling
I don't know
the
that
same.
we should be speaking for the staff.
As far as this is concerned tonight, I appreciate you letting me speak. I appreciate you allowing all of us to speak. And one of the things, excuse me, I'm speaking. One of the things that irritate the older people in the audience is the frivolity that you guys display sitting there laughing at all of us. Trust me, when you're 65, 72, yeah, you shake your head, man, it's never gonna happen to me. I hope I'm here someday watching you at this podium. I'm voting no. And I know a lot of people aren't. But it's not because we don't think the program is especially important to the kids. It's because of the way this has been presented and the BS. Omar Yazganov, I can't even pronounce the guy's name. He owns that building. He owns the realty company that owns that building. I was told he had this thing with Victory School. I talked to 3 principals in the Victory School system. They never heard of this guy. So you're dealing with a crook.
Hello. Point of clarification. They want to laugh at old people. Will moving the summer camp to the former YMCA building affect our taxes?
0.
They always say that.
Will moving summer camp to the old YMCA building raise taxes?
No.
Okay. For 6 years, maybe? You guys at this table have done incredible work with my kid. This year I'm excited to send my 5-year-old. I think as camp families expect a certain level of programming for our students, for our children. I did not know when I registered for camp in February that it would not be at the middle school. I am very angry that I did not know that. Because I don't know how many of you guys have recently tried to enroll a kid in any type of childcare, but it's absurdly expensive and it's really difficult to get a spot in a program that offers quality experiences, like thousands and thousands of dollars. So, to recap, based on what we're hearing, we do not expect any raises to Cudahy taxpayers if we move summer camp to the Y.
Correct. There will be 0 impact to taxpayers by moving summer camp to 3244 East College Avenue.
And we've also heard a number of people say that the experience for students, if held at Kazi, will be significantly worse than if it is held at the YMCA. So, I'll say again, I didn't know that this was a possibility, and I'm extremely unhappy that I did not know this. I would not have registered my student if I knew that there were a possibility that it would be held on Blacktop. If it is held at Kazi on Blacktop, I will pull my student, and many other parents will. I could be petty and vote no because I'm angry that I didn't know. I could be angry at things that have happened in the past, with budgets, with boards, with votes. But if I vote no, it sends over 250 students in Cudahy to have summer camp at Kazi on the Blacktop. So be frustrated. Be frustrated. Understand that the construction that's happening at the middle school is to put in a safe and secure entrance. Is that right?
Yes.
So a safe and secure entrance to try to improve the safety for our students at the middle school. It seems like a worthy cause. I wish I had done sooner, and I'm so mad that I didn't. But I'm not mad enough to vote no and send all of these kids to have camp on the Blacktop. That to me is a vote against kids' experiences. And really, for those of you whispering under your breath and being frustrated, understand that a vote against allowing camp to move to the Y, which will not impact taxes, is a vote against a whole lot of students in Cudahy having a really, really awesome summer. And I apologize to you counselors for my fellow community member who felt it was appropriate to berate you, question the value of your work. I know more than one of you has helped my kid with a bathroom situation. I know a lot of you play a whole lot of sports with him, and I know all of you know my daughter who has never even attended camp. So your value, trust from the camp families who know is top notch. We thank you, and I really, really hope community members can separate their frustration with the board and with the past, with the experiences that our students are going to have this summer, or not. Thanks.
Thank you for acknowledging the staff.
Thank you, Cudahy staff.
Tina, we're gonna do some math, so you may need to pull up a spreadsheet. What is the square footage of the YMCA that we're using?
40,000,
Okay, that's what I pulled up.
45.
So based on the math, 12,000, and I missed the beginning, but from what I've heard, $12,000 a month, right, per rent, 40,000 square feet comes out to $4 a square foot?
Okay, I trust
Right?
you, yep.
Well, I don't wanna be trusted. I'm doing the math now because there's $3 a square foot.
Okay.
Okay, that is coming out of Fund 80, going into Omer's pocket, correct?
It's going to lease the facility,
Right.
which also includes utilities and maintenance and everything else.
Okay, going into Fund 10 is money from Richardson School to lease J.E. Jones at the rate of $4.16 a square foot, correct? So, if no one's understanding me, we are paying less to rent the YMCA per square foot than we are collecting into Fund 10 for educational purposes for the lease of J.E. Jones. So the educational Fund 10 will not be at a loss of the rent that would come from the rec department this summer, correct? Because if the rec department leased a facility from the school district, that money would go into Fund 10. Am I saying this correctly? Okay, so my frustration or confusion was the district is out this money that we normally would have had if the rec department was leasing from an existing school district building. But because the school year is much longer than these 3 months of summer camp, we will actually be putting more money into Fund 10 than we would have for summer camp. And our kids will be safer. I also want to just clarify that Omer has already taken care of the basic repairs to make the building safe for occupancy. And that an occupancy permit will be available to the public to review as well as an inspection.
Yes, they already have the permit, we have copies of it.
And where people can get the copies of the inspection or the permit?
I suppose we can put that on the website?
Okay. So, my math is correct, right? We're making money in the right account that goes to education. And our kids have a safe enough place. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm not sending my kids this year. They have good programs.
Thanks for all of your years of playing this kid up.
I will now accept a motion to authorize the school board to lease the property.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion made by Mike Johnson, seconded by Alyssa Stovland. We will now vote on the motion by raising hands. All in favor of authorizing the lease, please raise your hand.
if you are voting, please make sure that you stop by Amanda and give your address.
I have 28 yeses.
All opposed, please raise your hand.
I have 13 noes.
Can you give me the numbers again, please?
28 yes, 13 noes.
The motion passes with a vote of 28 in favor and 13 opposed. I will accept a motion to adjourn. Now, just so you're aware, the lease has to come.
Yeah, I
next
mean,
month
if people knew about the meeting, they could have shown up, but.
No, but there's people
do you
here
verify
that
the
are
votes?
residents.
I counted.
How do you know that these people live in the community? How do you know she's a registered voter? How do you know?
I have a list of everybody.
Oh, thank you. So you just went around and said, what's your name, you vote yes? What's your name, you vote yes?
I'm Dawn Ellis, I said yes, I'm a resident, we can all do that if you'd like. I can show
I
my
mean,
ID if you want, that's not
I
a
mean,
problem,
it
there was
just
only
seems
one
like
non-resident.
Raise your hand.
Yep,
and
everybody
there's no
who
way to
voted
check.
yes, raise your hand.
There's no way to
Say
check.
your address. Do you want ID? I'm not, I'm just saying, but that, if that's no problem, it's no problem, I'm happy to say yes. Hey, well, you know, it's not problem.
You're allowing non-residents to vote.
Point of order. People will have to be removed if this kind of behavior continues.
It's 100% the legitimacy of the vote. Okay.
A motion has been made to adjourn by Rhonda Ricchio, seconded by Linda Johnson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned.
Yeah.
We will take a